In today's video, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and that is I want to go back and take a look at my number 2 most popular video, and by far my grossest video, and that is treating lumpjaw start to finish, not for the squeamish. Every once in a while, I like to go back to one of my older, more popular videos and give you guys some insight and share some things with you that you would not otherwise know. So, that's what we're doing today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Where we last left off, I just weaned the calves off of the cows, and while I was doing that, so right off the bat, what I'm noticing that's making me chuckle is that I've got the exact same clothes on that I'm wearing right now, 4 years later. Very likely the exact same sweatshirt. I doubt that I've had pants that would last that long, but I don't know, I got a chuckle out of it. It won't be maybe a few weeks, and that abscess will go away on its own. This cow, however, is probably the most extreme case I've had in my herd, and I think that she is bad enough to where we're going to have to actually lance this and drain it to help her heal up a little faster. You can see how swollen her face is, and I think it's making it hard for her to eat because she's losing body condition as well. So we've got her separated from the herd. We're going to drain that abscess right now, and we'll give her her own feed ration in here where she doesn't have to fight anybody to get it, and I'm hoping that we can put some body condition back on her and get her feeling good again. So without further ado, let's get her in the chute and get started. We'll go ahead and skip the intro. I don't think you guys need to see 2 of those, but I will tell you one thing I remember about filming this is I was really nervous about it because this was actually the first abscess that I have drained by myself. Seen it done before, I kind of knew in theory how it should be done, but this would have been the first time that I actually did it. And if you're squeamish at all, I'm gonna say probably you don't want to watch this, so I'm gonna give you fair warning right now. And I actually almost didn't post this video because I was worried about how this would be perceived by the general public that doesn't really have any sort of livestock background. I'm always mindful of that. I remember one time being told that when you speak about the beef industry or anything like that, you are an ambassador for that industry, whether you want to be or not. Boy, just look at that old corral setup. We've come a long way in 4 years. Okay, now that we've got her in the chute, we can see a little bit better what is wrong with her. If you can see, I know, I'm sorry. You can see down there on her jaw there, or chin, it's really swollen. Well, it's not swollen per se, but she's got a big pus pocket there is what it is. And it's putting a lot of pressure on her face, and I'm sure it's uncomfortable. So the way to tell if these are ready to be lanced or not is you want to feel it, which she doesn't want me to, of course. But basically, if that abscess feels hard or firm, it's probably not ready to lance yet. But if you feel like a soft spot, almost like a water balloon that's very tight, I guess would be the best way to describe it, and then it's ready to go. So I felt hers a little bit before I picked up the camera here, and I can determine that it is ready to lance. So we're gonna have to restrain her head a little bit better so that I can get in there with a scalpel and do it. I don't want her to jerk her head or something as I'm lancing the abscess, because she could really hurt herself that way, and me. So in this part where I'm talking about her jerking her head and hurting herself or me, what I was thinking of is one time when I was in college watching a guy cut a bull calf to castrate him, and while he was down there with the scalpel, the calf kicked and basically filleted this guy's thumb. It was a pretty nasty injury for him. And anytime I'm using something sharp around livestock, I think about that time and try to, you know, take precaution or whatever I can do to make sure that doesn't happen to me. The best way to do this is to get her backed up in the chute kind of as far as we can, and then I'll put a halter on her and get her head tied up, and we'll kind of see if she can move. And if I'm satisfied with the fact that she can't, then we'll go ahead and do it. So I've got this pipe in front of her. That'll help keep her from being able to move forward on me. But what I really need to get her to do is just to back up where I can pinch her with the body squeeze. You might notice I'm talking a lot right here, almost like I'm stalling, because I am a little nervous or unsure about actually making the cut, but eventually I do. We're gonna have to figure it out. Being good so far. I'm sure this is not feel very good to you. Okay, where am I gonna tie this on? You need to tie your head up. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is kind of figure out where I'm gonna pierce her skin, and I think right here is a good soft spot. So I'll make sure we're lucky there's no mud or anything, but I'm still gonna get some iodine up on there and just sort of try to kind of sterilize the area best we can. And now we are ready for a scalpel. It should probably go without saying that you don't want to do this with a pocket knife. You want something sharp, and like the scalpel that I'm using, it's not very long, because what you really don't want to do is stick that up in there too far and hit her her jaw bone or something like that. We just want to only pierce the skin, and I think we better do it because you can tell that she's not comfortable. All right. So what can happen, like what just happened, if there's something sort of clotted in there, I can stop the flow. And so you just kind of got to sit here and babysit it, and hope that you keep a good, oh man, that's splattering all over me. You guys, be glad you're only seeing this on camera, because this smells really, really bad. I guess there's no point really in washing my hands just yet. By far and away, the most common comment that I got on this video, any idea what it might be? It might be the very thing that you're wondering right now, and that is, why didn't I wear gloves while I was doing this? Go through the comments on that video. It's probably like every other one. Why aren't you wearing gloves? Where are your gloves? Ever heard of gloves? I need to send this guy some gloves. So why didn't I wear gloves? Honestly, I'm telling you the truth, it never even occurred to me to put gloves on. Never once dawned on me to do that. You know, when people point it out, you kind of look back and think, yeah, it might have not have been a bad idea. But it seriously just never occurred to me to wear gloves. The reason that I thought it was important in this video specifically to film the end a week later so that I could show some sort of a conclusion with this cow is because I was anticipating a lot of people telling me I did this part wrong, I did that part wrong, I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. I thought that if I filmed the cow a week later and showed how she made a full recovery, that I would suppress a lot of comments like that. And maybe I did, but I don't know, it sure didn't seem like it. All right, so we got her abscess drained. I think I got all of it. I could not get any more to come out of there, but she does still look, you know, kind of like she just got her wisdom teeth pulled, but I think that's just inflammation. So what we're gonna do is we'll fast forward a week and see how she's doing. This part was totally not planned and wouldn't have probably made it in the video, except that I did have my phone with me, and that's what this is all filmed on. I think I was just swinging by real quick to check on her. I didn't have any cameras or anything with me, and she had that little thing hanging out of her chin. So fortunately, I had the presence of mind to get my phone out and film this part, because I think a lot of people liked it for some reason.
Good morning. It's been about 2 weeks since we lanced and drained that cow, so let's run down to the pen here and see how she's doing. After the initial draining 2 weeks ago, I did have to come back in a couple days later and remove some dead tissue. But other than that, it's really just been R&R for her in here. I think her body condition looks a little bit better now. Probably still not as great as it needs to be, but she's definitely on the mend.
Four years later, number 11 is still a productive member of the herd. She's had a calf every year and done everything that I want a cow to do ever since that video. I know a lot of people asked me if I was gonna sell her or if I'd gotten rid of her because of that, and the answer is no, she's still with us. So there you have it, the video that I was so close to not posting, and it ended up being one of the most popular videos on my channel. Hope you enjoyed the little trip back in time, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.